Hi and welcome back. I'm Carly from Soundside Studios. Today we're talking about shuffling. What it is, why it matters for a great tarot reading, and how to do it well. Let's dive in. Let's get started. So why do we shuffle our tarot decks? Well, the first reason is just practical. It allows us to reset the order of the cards. This allows the topics and concepts that need to be talked about to pop up. The second reason is more psychological. When we're shuffling the cards, it's like meditation. It's a moment to think about your query, or visualize the layout you're about to perform, or think about what you want out of this experience, allowing the external world to melt away and letting you connect to the present moment. There are 3 great ways to shuffle your tarot deck: the riffle, the wash, and the overhand. Each has its own pros and cons. I'll show you how to do each one and choose the best way to start your reading. The shuffle I recommend for tarot readers is the riffle. It takes 7 riffle shuffles to fully randomize a 52-card playing deck. So for a 78-card tarot deck, you'll want to do about 10 shuffles. I typically perform 3 to 4 riffle shuffles before I do a reading. That allows me to center and think about the spread I'm about to do. And I know I'm going to cut the deck in 2, so I will be starting at a random spot. That's why I don't always do a full 10 shuffles before I do a reading. I also always shuffle from the long edge. Now this is unique for tarot practice. When you're playing with Uno cards or a poker playing deck, you're going to shuffle from the short edge. But if you do that with your tarot cards, not only can it feel unwieldy because they tend to be a bigger size, but it can also cause the edges of your cards to arc upwards. You may at some point start seeing the corners of your cards, which then would give away what the card is going to be, and it just adds to the wear and tear on your tarot deck. I also think there's a mindset component where if you're shuffling your cards the way you shuffle your poker game, you're going to be ready to play a game. You're doing something totally different here. So a way to mark the difference in your practice is to shuffle in a different and unique way for your tarot practice. Let me teach you how to do the riffle shuffle. Start by dividing your deck. It doesn't have to be an equal half, but the closer you get, the easier it is. You'll want your middle, ring, and pinky fingers on the outside edge of the deck. Keep that first finger free. And then have your thumb on the inside of the deck. You're going to rest this corner against either this knuckle of your thumb or the pad of your thumb here. And this first finger will come to rest on the back of the cards. It's going to apply a tiny bit of pressure that will actually lighten up as the cards fall in. If your hands are too big to get this finger here, you can use the knuckle. Then you want to hold the cards at about 70 degrees. Make sure they're close enough. And you pull back on your thumb, almost like you're flipping through the pages of a book. Apply a little bit of pressure with the pad of that finger, and then let the cards just fall in. We don't want to have a big arc on the cards like this, because having a nice flat fall in is going to help preserve the quality of these cards and the longevity of their life. And when you're done, I always recommend that you pick it up and make sure you're not seeing what's under here. The next style of shuffling is what I recommend for beginner tarot readers. I call this washing the deck. You want to make sure that you're on a surface that is totally clean. Don't do this on a carpet. Ew, it's super gross. But do it on like a nice clean table or a scarf. This technique is used at the Monte Carlo casino, and it does fully randomize a deck in 30 to 60 seconds. Here's how you do it. Let me show you how to wash your deck. This is a really great way to work with a brand new tarot deck. You want to be gentle, of course, but this is how casinos start the day off with their fresh decks. And so if you want to fully randomize a tarot deck that is in order, then start with a good wash. This is also called a granny shuffle. I've heard it called a smoosh. Now the table that I'm working on for the demonstration is a little bit small. Ideally, you would have more space on your own table, but I think you can get the idea of how to do this. So you slowly bring it all back towards the center, and then you get them back into order. Lastly, the overhand shuffle. This is the shuffle I see used most often, and I actually advise against it. Our overhand shuffle is when you take a portion of the deck from the bottom and you put it onto the top. This takes about 10 to 11,000 shuffles to fully randomize a 52 card deck. So it's going to take a lot more to do your tarot deck. What tends to happen is that people get really aggressive with an overhand shuffle and they start throwing the cards into each other. This can have some negative consequences for the longevity of your cards because they're likely to get damaged. I once had a tarot deck with beautiful gold leaf on the edges, and this was the fastest shuffle that removed that beautiful gold leaf. So I totally recommend against this style of a shuffle if you have a beautiful edging on your cards. The other downside is there's less control on this shuffle, which means more cards are likely to go flying. Some people like to grab those cards, the jumpers or the flyaways. They think those are the cards that are meant for you. But I don't recommend that method at all. It's more likely to have your cards get stained, dirty, damaged, bent. And as soon as a card gets bent, well, then you're going to start seeing that card pop up more or less because it's shaped differently than the other cards in the tarot deck. I also overall think it's important that we respect our tool. A tarot deck is like a good friend that wants to give us some advice and is our ally. And so I like to be mindful, gentle, and present as I shuffle and not get too lost in the momentum of the shuffle itself. Let me show you how to do your overhand shuffle. You'll place the cards face down in the fingers of one hand, so it's off my palm. I'm going to grab the bottom portion of the deck, lift up, let this top portion rest on my fingertips, and then I'm going to gently release with this middle finger and thumb to allow some of the cards to drop. You can see that it comes down in packets. It's not just singular cards. I can use this left thumb, this one, to sort of control the cards once they land to help them stay where they are. This can work really well if you don't know how to do a riffle shuffle. This is a good alternative. But again, I recommend staying mindful of the practice and going at a steady pace and being gentle with your cards. I hope this helps you feel more confident when you start your tarot card reading. Beginning with a good shuffle is critical to having a fabulous reading because when we randomize our deck, it allows new ideas to pop up. It equalizes the chance that concepts that could benefit us are going to arise. When we have new ideas coming up, we have new possibilities for solutions and paths forward to help us solve the problems that maybe brought us to the reading in the first place. Find a shuffle that works for you, imbue it with your intention, and become a stronger tarot card reader. Let me know which shuffle you like to use in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more cool content like this. Follow me on socials to stay in touch, and I'll see you next time. Bye.